him to break the law. He was hired by Scottdale Council. He therefore should be an employee of this town. He should not be abated behind a double-ended contract. This entity is tainted and should not be allowed to function within our community and pay restitution for the misrepresentation of heirs. Our own representatives, which are here, including members of the council, have fallen prey to these ordinances. Those declared to believe the enforcement and adopted laws have issues. They do. Our president of our council has sat and watched in regards with his people he represents as his violations have been brought to light. They have. The delays in correcting these violations, they were took 26 days to correct. That ordinance states it's up to a $300 fine a day. It should be assessed for every day as a separate offense. Yet there has been no report of a fine or one imposed. But every day, operation begins without a county fire permit, which is required. Do I agree with it? Maybe not. But it is required to successfully do business in this town as you adopted it in your ordinances. This entity is tainted. The head of our protection committee, he has also fallen flawed to his pursuit. He's working on a sworn building permit, one which did not cover the fees that were assessed to complete it. Under the undermined deviation, a sworn detailed drawing that was erected inside of his own yard. These offenses for the articles to be removed call for 2 times the cost to be paid. Yet no fines and no violations have been ordered. Once again, a second permit was issued just recently for construction. Yet he failed to have a demolition permit, which has to be going with it, or to this date. There are others that are pursued by civil violations, but this violation remains uncontested and uncorrected. It should be removed, as the ordinance states, and resubmitted. It makes sense, or it makes it very hard, that an 89-year-old senior citizen had to replace her roof at the cost of her children because our code enforcement officer watched from the street at 45 feet and deemed the roof to be no good. Gave her 30 days to do so. Her children had to fork out every penny they had to fix the roof. That's not correct. I don't care how we look at it. Again, BIU has failed. It has failed all of us. And even as the method for random inspections, they have none. Even under government law, random inspection has to retain a method. It does not. Our protection committee is tainted. The validity of our solicitor. Our town solicitor has proven this town that his best interests of the people are not at hand. It has produced less than truths regarding legal advice to public record. Even when he's been asked about court issues and the outcome of the case, he stated we got everything he would want. That answer was less than truthful. What cost the taxpayer thousands of dollars to go into was a denial to reopen the case for evidence, a denial of the tax record that we paid to do, a denial to come view the site, a denial of intervention. All of that, what did we achieve? Nothing. We padded billing hours to this town, paid for by the Scottdale taxpayers. We achieved nothing. In relation to the Sunshine Act, our solicitor reads to the media that he thought it was in the best idea of public interest to take the midnight meeting and the voting and hold it as public and redo it. Another less than truthful fact. The fact was that 14 days after that meeting, paperwork was filed for charges to be set against the Sunshine Act because Scottdale failed to enact it or do it legally. It wasn't until the final day when that paperwork was going to happen that it was rescinded and brought back to vote. Our solicitor has done his best to lobby against the town council. The fact is the solicitor took an oath to uphold the laws pertaining to Scottdale and uphold the truthful laws in the best interest of the borough and its people. This list goes on, but it's the expense of this town that does not have a paving program due to lack of money. This entity is tainted. For reasons I call on the mayor to intercede and retain control of a tainted council. This council has manipulated its power to undermine the growth of this town. And for those that elected them to lead us, at this point, passing these issues to a committee would be futile, unjust, no guarantees that any issues would ever be reviewed. The packet that was presented to Mr. Roy holds enough documentation to seek action from Pennsylvania State Attorney General's office to demand some immediate action. At this point, this council has lost the right to govern me, or to speak for me. Only the mayor has the governing rule as to my interests. I pose my question. Will you, Mayor, investigate these actions, seek legal help in correcting the issues, using the means of the PA State Attorney General to right what is wrong? Thank you.
Thank you.